Hi, it's Miriam with Engadget, and this here is the HTC EVO 4G LTE for Sprint. This is basically the 1X from HTC, but reskinned and sold as a Sprint device. So there are obviously some differences, and we want to walk you through these today. The first thing you'll notice is the gorgeous 4.7-inch Super LCD2 display is still there. It's still HD, 720 by 1280p. So that's good news, because it's one of the most beautiful displays we've ever seen. It's non-pentile. So that's the first great news. The second great news is that it has the same Snapdragon S4 dual-core Crate processor at 1.5 gigahertz with 1 gig of RAM as the 1X and 1S. So you're getting quite a nice package with this phone right off the bat. Now, there are a bunch of differences. I'm going to walk you around the phone in a second, but overall you'll notice right away that it's a different casing than the HTC One, obviously. You'll notice the most interesting design differences is a lack of symmetry between the top here. There's this black line of the glass and the unibody bezel, and this kind of rounded line at the bottom. And that actually put us off the first few times we saw the phone, and now we're kind of getting used to it, and it's not as jarring. But I think it made us call the phone actually ugly at one point, and it's probably not ugly in person. So let's just flip it over and show you what's there. There is obviously a very different design in the back. The first thing you'll notice is this red bar, and it's actually hiding a kickstand. And that's actually one of the nice features. A lot of people like the kickstand on their large screen phones, and this obviously continues a tradition that we've seen in the original EVO 4G, and it was lacking on the EVO 3D, which are the two predecessors to this phone. This top part is a polycarbonate, plastic, shiny, fingerprint magnet, as you can see. Gets dirty real fast. It's kind of also a jarring design element. Some people like it, some people won't. This part here is again part of the same unibody frame of the device, and the Sprint logo and HTC embossed logo. This part down there is plastic, matte plastic, and has the speaker and some antennas hidden in it. I'm going to pop the cover in a minute, but I want to walk you through some really interesting design elements. What you'll notice here on the edge is this is a shiny metal, right? But it's actually one piece of aluminum, this back panel, and the entire bezel around the front of the phone. That's just been machined into this kind of polished finish all the way around. That's a really, really beautiful design element. So that's in a nutshell like the design differences, obviously much different than the 1X. Just to walk you through the controls and things, there's an earpiece up here behind some sort of mesh grill. And you'll find a front-facing camera up here. It's a 1.3 megapixel, capable of 720p HD video. There is the three capacitive ice cream sandwich buttons, back, home, and the multitask button. So that's the front. On the back, as I showed you, there's a kickstand here. There's a 8 megapixel autofocus camera with an LED flash. This is actually cool. They've recessed the lens, the glass, behind this piece of plastic surround, so if you put your finger on there, you won't get any fingerprints on the lens, and it's not likely to scratch when you put the phone down. And then you'll see pretty much nothing design-wise other than the speaker on the back. On the sides here, you have a double detent camera key, and this is a huge difference compared to the 1X, and something that we're very excited to see. It feels absolutely fantastic. It's machined aluminum. It has this really great feeling double detent. It's quite lovely. That's on the right, and on the left here you'll see very little, but there is the micro USB charge and data port right behind this this piece here of shiny plastic. I forgot to mention the rocker, which is hidden again here. I'm not sure if you can see it in the camera, but there is a volume rocker right here in the shiny part on the right hand side. On top, you'll find a microphone, secondary mic, headphone jack 3.5 millimeter, and again a beautifully aluminum machined power lock key here. There's a tiny little piece of plastic missing here, so you can put your finger to remove the battery cover. And on the bottom, interestingly, there's obviously the primary mic, but there's this kind of strange little indent recess in the matte antenna cover. Let me pop this this back piece off so you can have a look at what's underneath. Now it's a little difficult, so like bear with me here. So as you can see, there's a few interesting little tidbits. A bunch of contacts. They match the antennas in the back of the piece here, as you can see. And then there's a camera in the middle. You can see the vibration motor right there. And then, haha, this right here is a micro SD card slot, something that's also missing on the 1 series, the 1S and the 1X anyway. So this has 16 gigabytes of built-in storage. It's one partition, so it's not, you can't mount it as a USB mass storage. You have to use MTP to mount it. But as soon as you slide a micro SD card in here up to 32 gigabytes, you'll be able to mount that as a mass storage device. So that's kind of good news. So that's what's under the cover. Notice something is missing, right? Something really obvious for an LTE phone. There's no SIM card anywhere and no slot. And we saw this on the Viper, the LG LTE phone from Sprint, as well as on the Galaxy Nexus for Sprint. And for some reason, the network has decided, the carrier has decided to hide these, embed them inside the device so they can't be changed. So you can't just grab your friend's phone and put the SIM card in it. And that's a major issue. We really don't understand why they're doing that. It just goes against everything LTE stands for, really. So speaking of LTE, as mentioned with the name of the phone, this is an LTE-capable phone for Sprint. And what it means is that it has an EVDO CDMA radio, as well as an LTE radio, but no WiMAX radio whatsoever. So this is a problem because if you buy this phone right now, Sprint does not really have anything as far as an LTE network. So you'll have to be stuck with CDMA for a while until they roll that out. And you can't fall back to WiMAX at all. So that's pretty much it for the hardware. As far as the software goes, really quickly walk you through. This is Ice Cream Sandwich 4.0.3 running Sense 4.0. Let me quickly show you that in the status here. So if you go to About and you go to Software, you can see 4.0.3 for Android, HTC Sense 4. Now, Sense 4 is much nicer. We really enjoyed testing it on the 1X and 1S. It is much more true to the original intent and design of the of what Android's done. Google's done with Android on the Nexus. So you know, it's super fast. I mean, this performance-wise, you won't be disappointed with this phone. It's the same amazingly fast experience as the 1X. Very, very, very snappy phone. Now, of course, it's Sense, it's skinned, it's not pure Android. Some people won't like it. We feel that it's a big improvement over the previous versions of Sense. It doesn't detract too much from the experience. So, I mean, that pretty much sums up the software. There's very little here that's different than what we've observed on the other phones. Anyway, so in a nutshell, that's the HTC EVO 4G LTE for Sprint. And pretty much a close cousin to the 1X. Cheers.